Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, January 10, 2023. And look, once again, I'm dealing with my chronic late arrival status where I'm arriving 10, 15 minutes late. Every now and then I get lucky and I arrive early. I have so much stuff in my head when I wake up. And eventually I just can't wake up. My body seems in pain from the sleeping positions that I sleep. And I just too cold and I have no energy whatsoever to even wake up. It sucks. It totally completely sucks, trust me. It totally completely sucks. It sucks, and I don't like it. And I think that's a problem that I need to work on. How can I make sure that I wake up early so I have enough time to shower, prep breakfast, eat breakfast, go to work, Mostly because I like to prepare my own breakfast because I want to be spending money out there in coffee. I can brew my own freaking coffee. Like today, I brew my own coffee. It's in a Wawa cup, but it's my own brewed coffee that I brew at home. What kind of coffee? Cheap Walmart coffee, because honestly, I cannot afford anymore. I don't want to spend like $8 for 10 ounces of coffee. That is ridiculous. That is way too much money in my opinion. I go with a cheap coffee. And I don't care if it has other things in there. I just go with a cheap freaking coffee. Whatever coffee is on sale, sometimes I purchase that one. Like if I go to a different store. But most of the time I go to freaking Walmart because it's closer and I'm lazy and I don't want to be driving too much. And yeah. So I get Walmart coffee. I drink Walmart coffee. I drink Walmart coffee. So yeah. So yesterday I went to a gym and my little workout today. I have my appointment with my counselor. I mean, I've been feeling okay, but at the same time it's like I don't know, there's still a level of depression, I don't know how can I fix that, honestly. Seriously. And then just the way things are, and then seeing things that are happening in the world is just depressing, honestly. And then we have laws that we pass here that are kind of cool, but at the same time it's why they did do that. One law that I know Massachusetts just passed is you can no longer throw away clothes, and you cannot toss them in the dispose of them in the landfill. They probably are going to enforce more industries more than households. It's difficult to enforce households. Households are following their program that they run in the municipalities. But recycling clothing, you can no longer toss the clothes in the garbage. You have to recycle them. So the point of recycling, I get it, you want to reduce a waste stream and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, for a successful recycling program, you have to have industries that will use those materials or will reuse those materials in their products. If you don't have industries that will use those materials into their products, recycling doesn't work. And then things get out of hand because even though you are trying to recycle or donate and all that kind of stuff, I've seen reports of people donating clothing, and those donations end up going to a landfill in Africa, and over there in Africa the regulations are not the same that we have in the United States for landfills, and it causes more problems than help. So yeah, that's where things are. So I don't know if Massachusetts did good research before passing this law, and again, it's a feel good law, and especially when you look at recycling now, where there have been reports where things are not getting recycled anymore, that things are just ending in the landfill. So you're still separating things because the municipality tells you, hey, yeah, separate this and that and plastic and this other thing. Oh, but we can't send it to any company that will reuse them or recycle them. So we have to send it to a landfill. So you are doing nothing. Pretty much. So it's all about a feel-good feeling. But this leads to the idea of okay, so what are the biggest environmental problems? I don't think reducing I think the best way to reduce things, to reduce pollution. Like I have a bunch of things that I have purchased through the years that I've been living here. Most of them books and video games and all that kind of stuff. I even have my old TV that I still have after my room gave me a new TV. I still have it. And the reason that I haven't disposed of that is because, number one, I just don't want to toss it away. That TV still works. I can still use it sometimes, but again, I haven't wanted to toss it away because I know that possibly it could end up in a landfill, you know, instead of being recycled or the electronic components removed. Then again, it's an old TV, so I don't know how much value they're going to find in that TV. So I just decided to keep it. But that takes space in my apartment, my room, you know. And I think the idea of best way to deal with things is like to reduce, like try to avoid purchasing things. I tried that, but sometimes it doesn't work. Most of the time I end up purchasing a lot of DVDs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so all the time, like in our society, we're going to be purchasing things that we need, things that we just really want, you know, but how can we do something to prevent from generating waste? And the more I think about it, the more I think it's difficult, because not everybody's going to be on board of the things. There's always be people that will say, oh, how can you tell me what I should do with my things, you know, like people like that. And it becomes difficult, and especially waste, like solid waste, is difficult to manage, honestly, because there's not an easy answer. People don't like landfills, even though we have good regulations on the landfill design. It's just where you put the landfill. A lot of people, they are like, oh, not in my backyard, you know, which sometimes end up the landfill being moved into areas where people are poor and they don't have the resources to fight the organizations, because that's what it is. You know, if you have money to fight the organization that want to do a landfill, then you can tell them to do it in a different place, you know. And sometimes like people aren't educated enough, or they don't know where to go to fight against what's company. But like, in honesty, we need landfills, you know, because where are we going to put the waste? Like, there's no other alternative. The other alternative would be to burn the waste and produce energy, what we call waste to energy facilities. Most of the waste, especially plastic, comes out of petroleum, and that means that we can burn it for energy and produce steam, which generates a turbine and generate electricity. However, a lot of people are opposed to that because of the generation of dioxins. But here's the thing: we're already burning coal and fossil fuels, and well, I understand that this burning waste will generate CO2, which we're trying to reduce because of greenhouse gases. At the same time, burning the waste reduces the amount of waste that we have to put in a landfill. You also have to dispose of the ashes, and you have to do it appropriately. So you have to have a good landfill design to handle that type of waste. Yes, there have been horror stories out there. I'm aware of that. But then also, when it comes to air pollution, to the dioxins are generated, like, you have air pollution control equipment that can help you reduce those emissions. So again, there's technology that is used for coal and fossil fuel power plants that you can transfer easily to waste in your facility. So it's not like it's just going to be a dirty burn of the waste to produce energy. No, you will treat the gases that are going to get out of the flue stack. But again, you generate CO2, which is not very good. But so that's the other option. The other option would be to just not do anything with the waste, or to create incentivized industries to be created to be able to recycle and use the materials that people are tossing away, you know. But the thing is, like, it's difficult. You don't have enough facilities to be able to take care of all the large amounts of waste that is being generated in your community or in your state. You are not going to have a successful recycling program, and a lot of this waste is still going to end up going into a landfill or into other landfills. So that's my take on the recycling laws that have been passed, that was passed in Massachusetts. I feel like, I don't know if they did a good research on that. Hopefully they did, but at the same time, I used to work for New York State, and I used to work in the Division of Solid Waste, and one of the disconnection that I saw was, like, the people that work in my office, they were driven by ideals that sounds great. Sometimes they want to do, but they won't probably not do enough research. You know, we should pass a law to ban this. Why? we have enough. We know if we have enough people or industry that will be able to use that particular program. No, but it's just we just have to do it because it's the right thing to do, and yada yada, and like so it's more like the right thing to do versus can we really do it. So I'm concerned about that, especially because after, like I mentioned, I watched a report of like clothes that are being recycled and donated, and they end up going to a different country, and then it becomes a problem of the other country. So I don't want that to happen because that generates to me a bigger problem than the problem. It's like pretty much like, oh, we solved a problem, yay, feels good about that, but then another country just have a problem that is caused by our actions and what we do here in the United States, which is not good in my opinion. And I know there's going to be controversy about this, but like I would love to talk to more people about this. I would love to know the intent of that law. I would love to know if there was some level of research done into passing this law, because like I even have seen that even corporations, they don't like to recycle or donate their clothes. There are corporations that they just prefer to throw their clothes in the landfill or burn them, so that way they are not sold in lesser store for less price, like companies. I can't remember the name, but there were companies that manufacture clothes. They have their brand, and they don't want to sell clothes going to a Salvation Army store or a Goodwill store to be sold by second hand for cheaper. You know, they don't want that because our brand and yada yada. So definitely I can see the impact what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent this company from sending their good clothes that they weren't able to sell because probably people didn't have enough money to be reused, so they can no longer toss in the landfill or dispose of it. So yeah, so I can see what the intent in that case for large people, but for the rest of us, for civilization, for people in community, that's a different story, and that's where I am a little bit also concerned about it. About the law that just passed. But again, it's just one of my less concerned. But like I can see the intent behind for the bigger industry. But will the bigger industry will do it? That's the question. I mean, they will have to do it because sometimes by law they cannot just close into the garbage anymore. So it's going to hurt them. I don't know if there was a position when this law was discussed. I'm curious to see how Massachusetts arrived to this decision, because if Massachusetts did it, it's only a matter of time before New York State decides to pass a similar law here, and I'm curious to see where that is going to go. You know, but we'll see. I don't even know if New York State is even considering a similar law for the disposal of clothes, or making sure that people recycle or donate clothes and not toss them into the waste stream. And each time when my jeans break, I toss them in the garbage because I got no way of fixing that. And I'm sure that nobody's going to wear my broken jeans. So like, there's no way for me to donate them. They're broken between the legs. Nobody's going to wear those jeans. I'm pretty sure that seamstress probably could use the jeans that are broken, take part of the fabric to work on their own creations, but I don't know anybody that wants that, so I end up tossing in the garbage, unfortunately. You know, maybe I should teach myself how to sew so I can fix my jeans when they break, you know, but I don't know, honestly. And then I will have to save a bunch of jeans in my apartment, which is add more stuff to the stuff that I have in my apartment. And I can go into the George Carlin monologue, but I'm going to avoid it. But in any case, that's all I got for now. Peace, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video blog. Bye.